Get ready for a Premier League clash with a truly dramatic twist. Manchester United, astonishingly sitting in 14th place, prepare to host a high-flying Sunderland, currently soaring in 5th. This isn't just any match, it's a battle where history clashes with current form. Can the Red Devils finally ignite their season against a side they've historically dominated? Or will this newly promoted Sunderland rewrite decades of Old Trafford history, carving out their own legend? We're diving deep into shocking stats, surprising trends, and absolutely crucial betting insights. Observing the potential lineups, Manchester United might deploy a dynamic 3-4-2-1 formation, while Sunderland could counter with a more traditional 4-3-3. United are masters at crafting attacking opportunities and launching devastating counterattacks. But here's the unexpected challenge: their finishing touch often goes missing, and their defense against those very same counterattacks is alarmingly vulnerable. Sunderland, on the other hand, appear to be a team without any glaring structural weaknesses. They dominate in aerial contests and are notoriously adept at protecting a lead. Both teams love to pepper the opposition goal, yet United often find converting chances a frustrating puzzle. This setup hints at a game brimming with goalmouth action, but United's defensive fragility remains a massive question mark. Can they withstand Sunderland's precision? Team news brings significant challenges for both camps. Manchester United are without their pivotal defender, Lisandro Martinez, and Diogo Dalot is also a major doubt, potentially forcing a defensive reshuffle. There's even talk of a change between the sticks. However, the return of Casemiro offers a much-needed boost to their midfield engine room. Sunderland, though, face what can only be described as an injury nightmare. A lengthy list of players is sidelined, including several key defenders, and Reinildo Mandava serves a suspension. Despite these extensive absences, Sunderland might shockingly field the exact same lineup that secured their last victory. Is this a sign of fatigue, or perhaps a testament to an incredibly determined, battle-hardened squad? This player merry-go-round could heavily influence betting on individual performances and overall team strength. The league standings paint a stark picture of contrasting fortunes. Sunderland are currently soaring, occupying an impressive 5th position, while Manchester United find themselves languishing much further down, in 14th. United's home form offers a glimmer of hope, having secured 2 victories from their 3 Old Trafford encounters. But here's where Sunderland truly shines. Their away record is incredibly miserly, having conceded a paltry 2 goals on their travels. United pepper the goal with shots but often struggle to convert, their clinical edge noticeably absent. Sunderland, conversely, are ruthlessly efficient, needing significantly fewer attempts to find the back of the net. This suggests a monumental task for United against a remarkably disciplined and offensively precise Sunderland outfit. Will United's volume of shots be enough to break down Sunderland's resolute away defense? Let's zoom in on Manchester United's recent form. At their Old Trafford stronghold, they've shown a far more formidable presence, clinching 2 impressive league victories against formidable opponents like Chelsea and Burnley. In both those electrifying encounters, they managed to net multiple goals and were even leading by the halftime whistle. However, their performances on the road have been a completely different narrative, plagued by significant losses and frustrating draws. This stark contrast suggests that Old Trafford truly remains a fortress, at least when it comes to securing crucial points. For total goals bettors, it's worth noting that both their recent home league wins saw at least 3 goals registered in total, hinting at open, attacking affairs on their own turf. Now, let's turn our attention to Sunderland's recent exploits. Their away form has been nothing short of defensively spectacular. They've kept their opponents scoreless in 2 of their last 3 league games away from home, including a gritty 0-0 stalemate at a tricky Crystal Palace. Their matches on the road tend to be extremely low-scoring spectacles, with very few goals gracing the scoresheet. They even snatched an away victory at Nottingham Forest, leading at the interval and tenaciously holding on to their advantage. This showcases a remarkably disciplined, resilient side that is incredibly difficult to penetrate when playing away from home. For those eyeing the undermarkets, Sunderland's away games are proving to be a goldmine of tight, defensive battles. Looking at the broader tapestry of recent results, Manchester United's home games are consistently open, with an average of 4 goals exploding onto the scoreboard per match. They're clinical at home, netting an average of 2.5 goals, while conceding around 1.5. Their recent home league form is, in fact, flawless, securing 2 wins from 2 outings. Sunderland, however, presents an entirely different proposition on their travels. Their away matches are incredibly tight, averaging just 1 goal per game, and their offensive output on the road is remarkably scarce, finding the net barely once every 3 matches. This sets up a fascinating, almost paradoxical contrast between United's vibrant, attacking home displays and Sunderland's unyielding, defensive solidity away from home. Which force will prevail? Now, let's unearth the head-to-head history, and what a story of Manchester United dominance it is. They've emerged victorious in 2/3 of their recent encounters against Sunderland. Even more remarkably, United have never trailed at halftime in these clashes, consistently heading into the break with a commanding lead. They frequently breach Sunderland's defense, averaging more than 2 goals scored per game. The Black Cats, conversely, have a torrid time against the Red Devils, managing to score less than 1 goal per match on average. This historical trend is a colossal factor, strongly suggesting United typically stamp their authority early and maintain control throughout these fixtures. Can this long-standing pattern truly be broken, or will history repeat itself, offering a strong indication for halftime results? Diving even deeper into the goal statistics, Manchester United truly come alive when facing Sunderland at home. A significant majority of their goals in these matchups are netted at the hallowed Old Trafford turf. But here's the most astonishing stat, a true gem for astute bettors: United have conceded an almost unbelievable single goal at home against Sunderland in their recent head-to-head encounters. And it gets even more impressive, they've kept a pristine record, conceding 0 goals in the first half when playing Sunderland at Old Trafford. Sunderland, on the flip side, historically concede heavily to United, particularly when they're the away side. This pattern screams a historically challenging afternoon for Sunderland's attacking line at the Theatre of Dreams. In the battle for aerial supremacy, Manchester United generally hold a distinct advantage across the pitch. Their defenders, forwards, and especially their towering goalkeeper, are all significantly taller on average than their Sunderland counterparts. United's shot stopper, for instance, stands a full 5 centimeters higher than Sunderland's. This could grant United a substantial edge in those critical aerial duels, both defending and attacking set pieces, a factor always pivotal in the physical cauldron of a Premier League game. Could this height differential translate into a betting opportunity on corners or goals from headers? Briefly examining the age profiles, Manchester United feature a slightly more experienced defensive and midfield core, with their key players typically ranging from their mid-20s to late 20s. Sunderland, in stark contrast, parade a youthful goalkeeper and a sprightly forward line, with most of their squad members hovering around their early to mid-20s. This difference suggests a fascinating blend, the tested wisdom and composure of United versus the relentless energy and fresh legs of Sunderland. Will experience ultimately outmaneuver youthful exuberance on the pitch? Now, let's consult the player ratings, where some truly intriguing insights emerge. Sunderland's goalkeeper boasts a significantly higher rating than United's, a commanding 7.2 compared to 6.1. This is a crucial difference in such a vital position, potentially a game-changer. Sunderland's defenders and midfielders also hold a slight edge in their average ratings, indicating a robust collective unit. United's forwards, however, are rated just a touch higher, suggesting they might rely on flashes of individual brilliance to unlock defenses. This comparison hints that Sunderland has a remarkably solid defensive foundation, while United might depend on their attacking stars to cut through. Let's shine a spotlight on the top performers who could define this match. For Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes is undeniably their attacking heartbeat, leading in both goals and crucial key passes. Matthijs de Ligt is an absolute colossus, dominating aerial duels like no other. Sunderland heavily lean on Wilson Isidore for their goals, while Granit Xhaka is their undisputed creative spark, leading in assists and key passes. Interestingly, Sunderland's goalkeeper, Robin Roofs, has repeatedly claimed Man of the Match awards, underscoring his pivotal role. For those watching the card markets, keep a keen eye on Patrick Dorgu and Granit Xhaka, who are prone to committing numerous fouls, potentially influencing penalty or card outcomes. Turning our gaze to areas for potential exploitation, both teams feature players who are frequent offenders. For Manchester United, Manuel Ugarte is a perpetual source of fouls, while Patrick Dorgu and even Bruno Fernandes are no strangers to yellow cards. Intriguingly, Bruno Fernandes is also notably susceptible to being dribbled past in midfield, which could expose a defensive soft spot. For Sunderland, Granit Xhaka tops the charts for fouls and yellow cards, alongside Noah Sadiki. These specific players could be prime candidates for a booking in what promises to be a feisty and competitive encounter, offering insights into player card markets. Delving into the psychology of when goals happen reveals fascinating patterns. Manchester United tend to find the net with consistency in the first half, particularly between the 20th and 30th minutes, and then again shortly after the restart in the second half. They also, however, concede goals throughout the game, with vulnerabilities appearing early on and in the midsection of the second half. Now, for Sunderland, here's an absolutely massive insight: they haven't conceded a single goal in the first half this entire season. Furthermore, they are very late bloomers in attack, with the vast majority of their goals arriving in the final 20 minutes, including any added injury time. This strongly suggests we're in for a tight, cagey first half, with Sunderland gradually growing into the game and posing a late threat. Finally, let's examine the overall goal totals, where we find a stark contrast. Manchester United's matches are typically high-octane, high-scoring affairs. A full two-thirds of their games this season have comfortably sailed over 2.5 goals, and nearly all have seen more than 1.5 goals. Sunderland, however, presents a completely different sporting landscape. Their matches are consistently low-scoring stalemates. Two-thirds of their encounters have concluded with under 2.5 goals, and they have not registered a single match with over 3.5 goals all season long. This dramatic opposition suggests United will relentlessly push for an open, attacking spectacle, while Sunderland will be aiming for a very tight, defensive, and low-scoring contest. This fundamental clash of styles will be central to determining the final scoreline, and certainly for total goals betting.